Welcome to the very best Ranking the Pokemon Spinoffs, a PAX Online panel. My name is Kyle Stephenson, a Pokemon novice too afraid to wander into the tall grass along Route 1, and I will be moderating this shiny panel. That's right, I've only played Gen 1, and I am the one moderating this gym battle. Thank you for joining us for this historic moment in games journalism, KindaNYC's first ever PAX panel. And to help us with this legendary task of ranking these offshoot Pokemon adventures, KindaNYC is thrilled to join forces with a couple of our friends from Uppercut. Without further ado, let me introduce today's panelists, and as we introduce ourselves, please let everyone know who your favorite Pokemon is. Representing KindaNYC, we have Mike Towndrow.
Hi, Toxtricity most of the time.
Jacob Palmer.
Sylveon, all the time.
Matthew Wright.
Mew.
And from Uppercut, Galiz-Rowe.
Hi, Snom.
And Jessica Howard.
Hi, Growlithe.
And for what it's worth, mine is Charmander. I know, Gen 1. Basic AF over here.
AF.
First and foremost, who is KindaNYC and Uppercut? Mike, tell us a bit about KindaNYC.
Sure. KindaNYC is a group of content creators with the goal of amplifying the voices of independent game developers along with their stories and the experiences they shape through podcasting, streaming, community events both online and in person, like at events like PAX, but obviously when the world is not on fire.
How about yours? I always have to say that no matter.
I know.
And anytime someone says world isn't on fire. And Ty, tell us a little bit, and everyone else, about what is Uppercut.
Yeah, so Uppercut is an outlet devoted to highlighting marginalized voices in the games industry through podcasting, videos, and primarily writing. We do cover other media as well, but we are largely games focused. And we just try to look at the stuff we love critically and make sure that every voice is being heard.
Absolutely. And you're doing a kick-ass job over
Hell
there.
yeah, dude.
So thank you for doing that. And before we get to the battle, let's do some icebreakers, shall we? Here are some Pokemon fun facts that were taken from a 2013 Games Radar article written by Henry Gilbert. Gold and Silver were planned as the final Pokemon games.
That's wild.
It's very wild.
Thank
That
God.
did not happen.
Again,
I know, right?
Gen 1 person over here. Would that have been a fitting end to Pokemon if that was it?
No.
I mean, the way
Yes
the way
and
they
no.
set up the way they set up the story, like, yeah, it's great you go back to Kanto, but I wouldn't want that to be the end.
Yeah, no. Because, like, Gen 3 is also just so good.
Yeah, Gen 3
Like,
slaps, dude. That's
Yeah.
like my favorite generation.
Yeah.
Game Freak, the developer of Pokemon, got its start as an early 1980s small game enthusiast magazine. Who
Interesting.
would have thought?
Who would have thought?
Who would have thought?
You'll have to see
Now,
it.
look where they are. Look where they are now.
Look where they are.
Look at us.
Look at us.
Game Freak was
Weird.
my second ever email address. My first one was YoungLink93.
Jess,
At
you're so
Yahoo.
cool. You are so cool.
The coolest.
And then it was like Game Freak Girl. Anyway,
Very
You're
nice.
a
fun
dork.
fact. That's my fun fact for the panel.
One of our top 10 for spin-offs, which we'll get into in a little bit, Pokemon Puzzle League was never released in Japan. Intended for US fans of the anime, it was decided that the N64 had gotten too unpopular in Japan to make importing worth it, and it remains the only Pokemon game not officially released in Japan.
I can't imagine there not being a Pokemon game that's US exclusive or not released in Japan.
Yeah.
Go back and
Can you
play
imagine them
Puzzle
doing
League.
that nowadays?
Yeah.
I just like that they were like, nah, people don't like the N64. Gosh.
yeah.
The N64 was so good. That's one of my favorite consoles.
That is my favorite console.
I've
yeah,
never
it's
touched
amazing.
one.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, and them treating it like Xbox 360, like, nah, we're good. We don't need this.
Especially because Nintendo is like from Japan. I like that they were like, our own console is not popular enough, so
Yeah,
we're just gonna bench that guy.
Yeah. Nobody likes Tetris Attack in this house.
And the final fun fact is Pokemon Snap was originally for the 64 disk drive and not a Pokemon game. Pokemon were added to the game after development on the photography title had begun, and it was also intended for the seemingly revolutionary N64 disk drive. Of course, when that add-on flopped in Japan and was canceled in America, those plans obviously changed.
What do you think we were photographing in that original game?
Right? Just basic
Animals,
animals?
I guess. Yeah, it's weird. I can't imagine a world without Pokemon Snap. and we'll understand why in a little bit
Yeah.
when I'm screaming at all you about cameras.
But we're not here for fun facts, y'all. We're here to crown a Pokemon spin-off champion. Here's how we got down to the top 10. Out of the 48 qualifying spin-off games, the community has voted and decided the top 10 we will be ranking on today's panel. There were some omissions from the initial list, though. So, Mike, how about you tell us a bit more?
Sure. So the most prominent ones that I feel like people are going to yell at us for are the Let's Go series. The Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee. I made the executive decision and decided that is more mainline than spinoff. I don't think it's a mainline or a spinoff. I think it's like right in the middle because it is just a remake of Yellow. But like, granted, it has like the Go mechanics and it like doesn't have the core mainline RPG catching mechanics, but it's still just, it's a remake of Yellow. It's still an RPG. Like, nah. I feel like the votes would have been swayed way too geared towards Let's Go Pikachu.
If it was
and
on
Eevee.
this list, it would have been high.
It would have been number one.
It's a good game.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic game.
It was more of a game to bring people from Pokemon Go over to the main series. It was like a nice stepping stone for that. So I don't feel like it should be part of a spinoff.
Yeah.
So
That was their
I
bridge
agree.
to get the casual Go audience to the Switch.
Yeah.
So,
Which is a lot of people.
Yeah. So that's why Let's Go Eevee and Let's Go Pikachu are not on this list. Obviously, there are a lot of Japan-only releases, and we live in North America, and we did not get to play those, so we are not putting those on this list. A couple examples I have. Before Pokemon Stadium 1, there was actually Pokémon Stadium, which was the first true spin-off released in 98 in Japan. The stadium that we know and love is actually Pocket Monsters 2. Pocket Stadium Monsters 2, or Pocket Monster Stadium. Too many words. That's why it didn't work in States.
Weird name.
Another one was Pokemate, which was actually developed by Square Enix. It's a mobile-only release in 06. I have no idea what it is.
I have questions.
I know, right? But obviously, again, Japan only, so we did not get to play it. And then finally, the games like Pokemon Unite and New Pokemon Snap are not out yet. So obviously, at least by the time of this recording, God, please, I hope when this panel goes out, New Pokemon Snap is out. But since they're not out right now, at the time of this recording, we are not going to be ranking them.
Yeah. So that is how we got to the 48 that were on that list. And here are the top 10 as voted on by the community in no particular order. We got Pokemon Snap, Pokemon Go, Pokemon Trading Card Game from the Game Boy Color, Pokken Tournament on the Wii U and Switch, Pokemon Pinball, Game Boy Color, Pokemon Colosseum on the GameCube, Pokemon Conquest on the Nintendo DS, Pokemon Stadium on N64, Pokemon Puzzle League on the N64, and Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Rescue Team DX on the Switch.
I feel like that one's going to get a lot of salt.
Oh, I like it.
That the remake got in like over the original or any of the originals.
The new one's cute.
We'll get there.
We'll get there.
I just like the chubby little friends. They got kerchiefs. It's a good time.
Before we get into the battle, my question to everyone here on the panel, we'll start with Jake. What do you like for a spinoff? And what does a Pokemon spinoff have to do to keep that Pokemon magic?
So for a spinoff for me, it's I don't want the RPG elements of a Pokemon game. The RPG elements are perfect with Pokemon, the main series. That's it. Now, when a spinoff comes around, like let's say Pokemon Go, that's totally different. You're going around catching Pokemon throughout the real world. It's something new and unique and exciting. Pokemon Pinball, like I love pinball itself. Like a pinball game, it like just made for me. So something that's totally different and unique. That's what I want. And then just to keep that magic going, like I mean, I'm gonna make the argument later, but something to keep doing something new and exciting. I don't want to go too much further into that comment because I'm going to talk about it later. But
yeah,
just something that's refreshing and something different as well.
Yeah. Jess, what about you?
Okay, I guess what I look for is going to be kind of a similar answer. I want it to separate itself from like the mainline series, the RPG elements, and I look for something that kind of, I guess, capitalizes on like traits that belong to a Pokemon, if that makes sense. Like, I like Mystery Dungeon because it's like that curiosity element that explorers. I think Conquest is really cool with like going into the tactical side of it, and having that be a thing. I think that, stuff like Snap obviously is more about like the cuteness of Pokemon. And so I don't know, like I think that if it leans kind of harder into something that's not just like the Pokemon journey and like the trainer experience, that's what I look for.
Awesome. Matt, what about you? What do you look for in a Pokemon spinoff?
I mean, it's hard to say the same thing.
Yeah.
Not to sound like I'm repeating myself. But yeah, essentially staying within that world, seeing new parts of it, keeping the magic alive. It's hard not to be magical when you have a game about Pokemon, as long as it's not, rampant with microtransactions, as we'll hear later. Pokemon's magical.
Sweet. Ty, what about you?
I really, really like when the games go out of their way to show a different part of the world. So kind of like what Jess was saying, where it's not just focused on the trainers, like Mystery Dungeon, they're doing their own thing and they have their own whole little society, really. I'm trying to think of other spin-offs I actually super, super like. And I think I kind of wish that more of them were like, here's like what breeders do, and like here's a contest game and stuff like that. A weird one I'm thinking of is I actually like, I don't know if I like it as a game, but I like it conceptually, the Magikarp Jump one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I like the idea of people just being like, yeah, man, we're gonna get these fish to jump.
What about you, Mike?
I look for a unique spin on, or a unique take on, the main mechanic of Pokemon, which is catching. So like for Pokemon Snap, you are capturing photos. For Pokemon Pinball, you are trying to complete certain tasks in order to shoot a pinball into a Pokemon that appears to capture it that way. It's just like, it is that spirit of Pokemon and completing the decks and catching them all, but a very unique take on that, like very old school classic mechanic. As far as the magic goes, like I want to still feel like I discovered a new Pokemon in the wild grass. Like when in Pinball, or like in Pokemon Snap, when like the Meowth pops up and scares you when you throw the Buster Ball or an apple at him on the cliff, like, and he just shouts at you. That feeling is just so like humble and like surprising and like just fun, and that magic is just so, there's nothing that could beat that kind of magic.
Awesome. So I guess without further ado, it's battle time, everybody. If you're hearing that music, that means let's get into it. So let's see if these spinoffs have all those things that everyone here on the panel is looking for. So let's start with the most recent one and Pokemon's start of the trend of worrying about our health. Jake, let's talk about Pokemon Go.
Let's talk about Pokemon Go. I have spent so many hours on this game. I've played this since the beginning. There's just something magical about pulling up your phone, walking around, seeing different Pokemon on the map, and being able to click on it and capture it. It feels like you're an absolute like real trainer, like you're finding these Pokemon in the real world. It started off a little rough. I mean, how many people downloaded this game? How many people downloaded this game when it first began? But to see the evolution of this game, to see where it is now, is absolutely amazing. They have their problems as a company for Niantic. They have their issues, and I will always hold them accountable for they should not be doing. That does not make sense. I will always hold them accountable for it. But I can't take away the magic that they created and the friendships that I made for this game.
I think to give credit where credit's due, when I think about the last, when did Pokemon Go come out? The last 5 years. Yeah. When I think about games that have that have gone beyond, I guess, just attracting gamers and have gotten more people into gaming, which is something I am about because I think gaming is for everyone. It's just about finding the game that speaks to you. The two games that stand out recently are Animal Crossing New Horizons, which it's so funny to say that because I literally, there's this influencer I follow on Instagram, right, who is totally health body positive. And now she's sponsored by Nintendo because she keeps talking about Animal Crossing. And that's how much it's reaching. It's just bleeding over into other things. And Pokemon Go started that. Pokemon Go is the other thing that I think of. That wasn't just something that was for gamers. It wasn't for Pokemon diehard fans. The whole reason Let's Go happened was to get people who were playing Go into Pokemon because Let's Go had such a massive following of people who weren't gamers. And I think that's pretty incredible.
Yeah. To pull people like that you hear stories all the time, like, of like, hey, my dad wasn't in a good situation. Like, he wasn't doing good health-wise. And then they started playing Pokemon Go, and just be able to go out, catch Pokemon. And it's like just a fun interaction, like just hearing from stories like that of people getting healthier playing Pokemon, which doesn't sound like that should be a thing at all.
And it just physically connects people. Like, I remember doing a community day last year at some point in Union Square Park, and the amount of just friends we made, or just random strangers that walked up to us like, oh my God, you're doing this raid. All right, let's do it. And just like that instant like sensation of being a part of a community is really special. And Pokemon, at the end of the day, as cheesy and hallmarky as this is gonna sound, it's about friendship. It's about partnership. It's about making connections. And
But
it's really
fun to play.
Yeah.
That's okay. Now let's talk about the negatives where
Okay, so my thing too with Pokemon Go, right, is like going off of Jess's point, I think it did a really good job of like revitalizing the series for like younger people too, because like how many times can you reboot Red or whatever, right? Like, you know, like past a certain point it's gonna get old. But like doing Go, like that's a whole new way to be like, hey, like there are these fun little monsters, and you can like go out and play with your friends and run around a park and find them, which I don't think is that fun to do actually, like playing, segging into what we're talking about, but not everything is for me.
Right. I think like the core mechanic of, like, let's say the battle system in it, just
and I will admit, tapping to attack is probably the most boring thing out of the whole entire game. But people love the PvP section, like now that they have PvP. But I'm just like, I can't just sit there and do this. Like, I can't even do that. Like, it just gets so annoying. But there's like certain strategies, like to timing the charge attacks. There's certain strategies for that. But if I want battles, I'm going to the main series. I can't do it in Pokemon Go.
Even like that's the catching, like they don't, like when you, like if you're just opening up Pokemon Go for the first time, they don't tell you what the hell the catching mechanic is. None of us knew what the hell that circle meant when we initially played. It took us like months to figure that out.
To learn you could do a curveball throw.
That too, like it's so there's such a barrier to entry.
So as a community-driven tool to bring people together, old and new, it's fantastic. As a Pokemon game, not so much. When I can't find any Pokemon near me and I have to, it's like, oh, hey, there's a Charmander a mile away. No.
Yeah, it is a bummer for people who live in more like remote areas.
Yeah, I mean, that would be the biggest thing that I would immediately kind of dock points for is I think that it's not the most accessible game. For a lot of kids who liked the game, if you don't have a smartphone or whatever, it's not something you can play on a console. You have to, your parents have to have like a cell phone plan for you. You have to have that.
Yeah.
It's for anybody in a rural location.
How fast does that eat your battery?
Yeah, exactly.
That too,
and that too, it eats your battery. And then, I mean, even the actual like motion of having to hold that and slide, a lot of people have difficulties with it.
That's true.
And that's also kind of a bummer. You would think that they would make, you know, something a little bit easier for people who might not have that.
Yeah, or like at least alternate control schemes or something, you know?
They did. They charged you money for it, though, with the stupid Pokewatch.
We got to put Go at 1.
Yeah,
just so, because we got 9 more games to go through, and I don't want to hear about the millions of dollars that Go is bringing in and cheating parents out of money. So let's go to a puzzling game. Let's go to Puzzle League. Matt, tell us about this gem of a game.
This gem of a game. Pokemon Puzzle League. Okay, I will stick to the positive until I can't anymore. Pokemon
Matt,
Puzzle
there is
League?
only positive. You
Pokemon Puzzle League opens up with the anime. So they got the full voice cast for the U.S. English Pokemon cartoon. At the time, we called it a cartoon. We didn't know any better. To voice these characters, and there's a championship going on in Pokemon Puzzle League Village.
Yes, and
it's original. That's original. So they do have the voice cast. You're able to choose your trainer, one player stadium mode. You play as Ash, and you can choose from Pikachu, Squirtle, and Bulbasaur. No Charmander. So already out the gate, I'm not okay with this.
Already
Homophobic.
And
The Fireboy is for the gays. How dare they?
Release the flamers.
the game plays exactly like, probably because they took the code from it, Tetris Attack from the Super Nintendo. But the assets and everything in the game just feels so cheap. This is probably why Japan was like, nah, we're good. The characters only have like 3 lines during the battles, and you will hear that line over and over and over again, depending on what action you do during this. I will give it credit. It is a challenging game. Like, if you love Tetris Attack, Tetris games, it's fun in that respect, but it gets old pretty quick when you have to hear the same thing over and over again. The one saving grace of this game, it uses music from To Be a Master, the soundtrack that has a bunch of Pokemon songs.
Hell yeah.
I do, yeah. The 90s kid in me was like, okay, all right. Yeah, take me back.
What I remember from this game, I remember what the case looked like. It was like purple and it was really cool looking. And I thought it was like going to be a lot different than it was. But I'm not a huge Tetris fan. I remember on the N64, the game that came out, because I played that game. I played Puzzle League, but I was in love with the game Bust-A-Move, if anybody remembers that 64 game.
Bust-A-Move.
Yep.
Oh, big time obsessed with that game. And so like I got this game and I was like, okay, like I saw like the little box. I'm like, okay, maybe this is like that. And I saw the squares. I'm like, oh, this is like Tetris. And if this game came out as like a $2.99 mobile game now, I'd be like, sure, why not?
Yeah.
But like for like an N64 game when I was a kid, it's just like kind of like, you know, you open up your present and you're expecting like something cool and you get like literally a puzzle and you're just
Puzzle
like,
League.
thanks.
Jess was a real gamer before any of us.
I don't know. I'm clearly way more positive about this game. I think this game is such a delight, and it's so damn fun to play. I love Tetris Attack, and this is Tetris Attack with a Pokemon skin on it, and it's so
It
good.
is, but it's not a well-budgeted Pokemon skin. Go and look at the values, the artwork of Tetris
listen,
Attack,
Matt,
and then go
Moneybags
play
over here.
Pokemon Puzzle League in 2020.
Listen, we didn't have that much money back in the early 2000s, all right?
What, you wanted Squirtle in HDR?
No, I'm just picturing like a little like cardboard Pikachu on a popsicle stick in the corner.
I believe that
Not
too.
far away from that.
I don't know, man. I to me, this is it's fun. Is it going to be like top 5? Probably not, but I'll just start the
This
conversation.
is having like a 7 or an 8 to
Well,
me.
Yeah.
I'll start
Speaking-
the conversation. I think it's better than Pokemon Go.
Okay, well that's where we gotta decide. Is
Are
it
you
taking over in the one spot for right now?
No,
No,
you cannot
it
have
can't.
one
It
person
can't.
put Pokemon Puzzle League over Pokemon Go. I will kill a on this podcast today.
Whoa!
Listen, okay, I feel like at a certain point, cultural relevance is a category in my mind. Everyone's heard of and played Pokemon Go. This game wasn't even welcome in its home country.
Yeah.
It was too good for its own country.
There it is. Just shut it down. Shut it down.
I'm sorry, Mike. You are a delight. I love you. But
love you too.
I think that if it was excommunicated from its own country, we have to respect Japan's wishes.
So with that, I was just gonna put it at 2, just for the hell of it.
Oh, go
I'm
ahead
putting
and
it
drop
down
it
to
to
10.
I think
Don't
I think
thank you.
Dare.
Thank you.
Sure,
Do
I
it.
think
Do it. Yes.
Sure.
You are the moderator.
I-
All praise Kyle.
Let's move on.
Kyle, fair.
Let's get into Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Rescue Team DX. Ty, take it away. You mentioned the chubby friends. What about this
I
game?
love them. Okay, so Pokemon Rescue Team was, I believe the first one was on the DS, right?
Game Boy Advance.
Yeah. I think
Game
it was
Boy
Advanced.
Advance.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was DS.
Okay, I think I played it on the DS because I think I put my Game Boy cart in my DS. But I got Pokemon Mystery Dungeon DX on the Switch this year, and that's just fun, dude. Like, you get to do your little quiz, and you get to be, I don't know how they choose which Pokemon you can be, but it's a very eclectic mix. I got to be a Totodile, which is just a little chubby alligator.
In my mind, I got to be a toad. I was like, that actually makes sense for a Pokemon Mystery Dungeon game for you.
I mean, honestly, honestly. But
Toad
yeah,
Mystery
I got
Dungeon?
to be a Totodile, and I think my partner was a Charmander, maybe? I don't remember. Oh, no, my partner was a Cubone. And that in and of itself slaps. I love that you get to be, like, little talking Pokemon that have their own society. And also it's funny because like you're a human who gets turned into a Pokemon, and that's like a really weird angle of it that like does not become relevant until like the end of the game again. Like they bring it up at the front and they're like, that's weird, right? And then you're like, well, I guess I'm a Pokemon now, and you just like get your little rescue team job, and like
You find out they're
why.
actually like a dad and you have like 3 kids at home.
Your wife left you. Like,
Like it's just I truly love that this game is just like you're a Pokemon now, and you're like, okay, and like just
like,
live your life.
something we should clarify also as we're like continuing to talk about these spin-offs. Pokemon up.
Yeah, it is.
This game,
It's
I now
weird.
know what it is. It is a spin-off as your dad in all the main series Pokemon, because you never know where the hell he is. He got turned into a Pokemon. This is this game.
It all connects.
You're Ash's
Brilliant.
dad. Yeah, so I just think it's fun. Like the whole thing is based on like Pokemon forming these little teams and deciding like if there are natural disasters or if like Pokemon get stuck in dungeons or whatever, you go in and save them. And like that's a cute premise. And I like the idea of like you see this little Pokemon community and they have a store and they just have like this little whole town center. And like when you meet new Pokemon in the dungeons, you're not capturing them, but if you've set up tents or camps or whatever in the right environment for a Pokemon and they work with you, there's like a chance that they'll decide they want to come with you, and then you can have more friends, and then you can switch up your team, and everybody has different abilities. And also like I like it because it's kind of a more low key dungeon crawler. Like it's not like a Persona where you're like going through a scary dungeon and like fist fighting demons or whatever. It's just like, oh, like there's a Chikorita.
I do that enough in real life.
Just some
Yeah,
clarification. So Red Rescue Team came out on the Game Boy Advance. Blue Rescue Team came out on DS.
Okay, so I played Blue Rescue Team.
I will say this game appeals to me in 3 ways, okay? It's rooted in compassionate acts. That's really cute.
Yeah.
Chubby little Pokemon are cute. It also, as that astrology, that Myers-Briggs test taking.
represent.
I love any sort. Oh, I said it bad. I'm sorry.
That's
Growl
fine.
noise.
Growlithe.
But I love anything that allows me to take a personality test. I took it. I got Pikachu, and I was like, yeah, I am kind of an ornery little butthead. Love it.
Also, the backgrounds in this game are very pretty.
Yeah. The art
they're
style
cute.
of this whole game is like so unique and just welcoming.
Shout out to the Switch for like proving that it doesn't have to be the fanciest looking as long as you lean really heavy into that artwork and you do something
that's
truly unique
Nintendo.
and beautiful. I love that.
Switch is all about art
Yeah.
style. It's great.
Well, the question now is this traditional Pokemon video game spinoff, does it overtake Go as the
Yes.
number 1 spot?
I never
It
played
sounds
it, but
very
yes,
cute.
it sounds like it.
Yeah.
For me, it's like it's hard because Pokemon Go is always a game that's going to be updating. It's always going to have something new and something. Mystery Dungeon stops at a point.
But
Yeah.
And trust me, Mystery Dungeon has shiny Pokemon, so it's high up on the list for me. Don't judge me, Mike. But I feel like with Go, there's just something more about Go because of the whole experience with other people, in my opinion. Shake your head. all
I'm
you
kind
can.
of with Jake,
never
even though
use
like
its-
I love Mystery Dungeon.
Like-
I think it and like oop.
Yeah.
Snob.
Yeah, but like I think there is something to be said for the fact that like Go can continuously be like a community thing. Like you're never gonna have Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Fest, you know?
But you can't use it's more fun with people as an excuse for a game to be better. You have to test it on its laurels of being able to play by itself.
I have to go with my heart on this because like there's a part of my brain that wants to say maybe Go should go in front of it because of the cultural significance. But I think at a certain point you have to be like, but what did I have fun with? And I think Mystery Dungeon is more fun.
I'm agreeing with that. That's what I was going through my head as well. That's what it sounded like to me. that discussion. So Go is now at number 2. Mystery Dungeon Rescue Team is at 1. Speaking about fun, segue. Pokemon trading card game.
What the hell was that
Game Boy
segue?
Listen, sir.
Segue.
Fun. Card games on the Game Boy.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Game Boy Color Pokemon trading card game. Matt, you want to talk to us about this trading card game on the Game Boy Color?
I think Mike should talk about this one because if I talk about it, I'm not gonna make Mike happy.
Sure. So I think this game is incredibly special for one simple reason, that it got so many people into the trading card game, and it actually taught people how to play the game. I think the actual the mechanics of roaming around the world and stuff like that, like they tried to replicate the top-down nature of the mainline RPGs. It sort of worked, but it was just a way to get you from each the next car battle, and I kind of wish they sort of stripped that back. Like they try to throw a story in there with gym battles and stuff like that, but it was fine. It worked. It was serviceable. But the magical thing about this is that it actually taught you how to play the card game in real life.
How does it hold up though?
Yeah, that was my
I tried
thing.
playing it
yeah.
recently.
As the Pokemon noob here amongst us all, this is the one game I do have some experience with. And
okay.
I just remember being so frustrated over one mechanic in this game, and it's a trading card game in general, but it feels like in this Game Boy Color version, whenever my opponent had to flip a coin for extra damage, it constantly landed on heads for extra damage, for 5 times in a row. It would ruin me. So that really bummed me out in this game. The only positive to this one though is it felt as somebody that couldn't get all the cards when I was younger, buy the packs, the fact that I could just have all the cards I wanted in this game, it felt like I could still see the cards and see what these Pokemon do in this card game without having to spend a ton of money on actual physical cards. Was a nice little thing for me.
Yeah, it's hard for me to put the trading card game so high on the list. For me, it was a very frustrating game. It was very difficult. It did feel like no matter what, all the opponents were against you. When it comes to tossing the coin, whatever, just they're always gonna win it.
Definitely a bad ref.
Yeah, and I feel like when it comes to trading card games, I feel like Yu-Gi-Oh does it better when it comes to these types of games.
100%. Yeah.
I'm making an executive decision here. I am bumping Puzzle League up to 9.
Yes.
I'm going to put the TCG game down at 10.
100% agree.
That's fair.
100%
I think that's fair.
Yeah, I think that's fine.
Totally.
All right. Let's move on to Jess, Pokemon Stadium, N64.
Oh my
Why
gosh,
is that one
I'm
special?
so excited. Because it's the best game ever. Not really. That makes it sound like it's actually my favorite game of all time. But
I was like, Jess, where did this come from?
I was about to say a bad word, but we'll avoid those noises. I love that game. I don't know. I feel like maybe the gap in my N64 library was Mario Party. I never got super into those until I was actually in high school, and all my friends made it a drinking game. Very fun that way. Do recommend.
In high school.
Yeah, but where my mini game love, I guess, was with Pokemon Stadium. I still remember probably every single mini game. I remember the Clefairy pointing, the Magikarp, the Rattata run, the Diglets that you have to harden in the Metapods, and even just doing the actual battles, the intended thing for that game. They were fun too, and I liked kind of having that whole library to choose from, because you kind of got to play okay, I'm going to play very similarly to my actual my team in the games, and have a really well-rounded team. But sometimes I would challenge myself and be if I were a gym leader and I were a ghost gym leader, who would what would my roster be? And then you get to pick all of those. And so it's fun. It just lets you kind of live out that fantasy of okay, I'm going to do all dog Pokemon. I'm going to do all fire types and see how I fare. And sometimes, yeah, you get your butt handed to you, but it's fun to try it out. And like I said, my sisters and I had an amazing time doing all those mini games. So much fun. It's just a fun game. I really do love it. And it's cute. It has a cute little layout to it as far as what the town looks like. I like it.
And very important, it's the first time you were able to play a mainline Pokemon series on your TV if you wanted to, if you had the extra expansion, which was awesome.
Not the first time. Super Game Boy for Super Nintendo.
Oh, okay. I apologize.
That's right. That's right.
The first
I forgot
mainline
about
time.
that.
Nobody,
Oh, wow.
nobody
I
had
didn't
this
know that.
anymore.
I thought it was the first one.
But you were able to bring your team into the game, which was
Yeah, and you can bring your team into the game if you want to. I love that they had like I forgot what the actual leagues were called, but you could play like just level 5 Pokemon, just level 50, just
Yeah.
level 100. It's really cool. And like you said, like you have the full library of at this time the full library of Gen 1 that like if you never play it as a Horsey for whatever reason, you could play as a Horsey if you want to. It was really cool. That was a bad example, but you know what I mean.
For a split
also,
second, I
like-
forgot there was a Pokemon named Horsey, and I thought you just were
Yeah, no,
doing a
I
cute
also
name for
had
a
to think
horse.
about like how that was spelled for a second, and I was like, is Mike talking about a ponyta or is he talking about the little seahorse one? Because either could be true.
Either relevant.
No, what's funny is I think that Stadium also helped me form what I wanted my team to be in the games as well. Because I think when I first played, I was a kid. You don't, or at least I never was somebody who was like obsessed with the stats. I was just more like, oh, this one looks like a horsey. Yeah, that was Ponyta, and I like that one. And so then I played that game, and I was like, Gengar is good. I like this mean purple man. And Starmie, like it definitely helped form like what I wanted when I went back to the game.
So, Jess, where would you rank this on the list right now? Right now, we got 1 Mystery Dungeon, 2 Go, and then we have Puzzle League and Trading Card Game down at 9 and 10. So, where would Stadium go?
I would say 1 because I'd put it over Mystery Dungeon.
No,
Yeah.
Kerchiefs!
Yep.
I'm sorry. I would. I really would.
No.
Mike, tell us about your trials and tribulations with Pokemon Conquest.
Oh, this is gonna be a real
Yes.
short conversation.
That's why we're doing it now.
Disclosure: none of us have played Pokemon Conquest. Really, I do
I
own
watched
it.
that trailer though.
So last night I put 20 minutes into this game. It turns out the new 3DS and old DS games do not really work together. The game hard crashed on me multiple times. But that's not to the game's discredit. Like when we did our old podcast, when we were ranking all the mainline Pokemon games, Pokemon Black and White also hard crashed on me, and Diamond and Pearl also hard crashed on me. It sucks. Anyways, this game is developed by Koei Tecmo, who you would know from the Dynasty Warriors series, Hyrule Warriors, Fire Emblem Warriors, and guess what? This game has a lot of warriors in it, but it's not like those games. It's this is essentially Fire Emblem Pokemon.
Fire Emblem.
Fire Emblem Pokemon.
Tactical RPG. correct?
Tactical turn-based RPG. The whole shtick is that like you are a warrior in this new land, and there's this legend that if you're a warlord in this land, and if you take over the 17 regions in the world, you will become a legend and awaken this legendary Pokemon. So the whole mechanic or the whole basis of the game is that you're trying to go to different regions, you're training your Pokemon, you're going to different regions, building an army to kind of take over the whole kingdom to awaken this
How
legend.
menacing.
It's a lot.
Yeah, that's like a really aggressive Pokemon storyline.
Again, Pokemon is f***ed up. Pokemon sound.
I love that they were really just like, time to use the Pokemon for imperialism.
Yeah. And I know this game
Also,
was
according to
originally
the wiki, the Pokemon only use 1 move.
Yes, Pokemon only use 1 move. You start out with the Eevee, but it does have like a really cool mechanic of that like each warlord has, because you can build a whole team of different people and stuff. Each warlord has a special ability. So I think my special ability, or like your character's special ability, is that it lets you roam, like it lets you move throughout the entire map. The one partner I had who had a Jigglypuff, she could heal all the Pokemon on your team. And then there's also like sort of like the mainline games where your Pokemon have each Pokemon has hidden abilities. So like my Eevee, if it attacked somebody or if it attacked a Pokemon, it could automatically move again to attack, which is a cool like spin and like kind of a response to doing the whole one attack kind of thing to make it a little more like accessible. And then just a fun fact about this game, I know it was originally planned to be a Dynasty Warriors like game, but yeah, clearly they wanted to do something different, and kudos to that team for actually doing something different. From what I played of it, really, really damn cool. I would love to actually play this if my new 3DS would like to let me. But
Yeah.
yeah.
And I think because of our lack of experience with it, I have to put it at 10.
I don't know.
I think that's
okay.
no.
Yeah.
So
It seems
above
cooler than the trading card game. That's
Yeah.
just like
Yeah.
in premise.
Honestly, I know I was talking a lot about Puzzle League. I would put it above Puzzle League.
Okay.
I'm fine with that. I
That
feel
works at
like
8.
I love Final Fantasy Tactics. I
Yeah.
love Fire Emblem. I love any sort of like grid-based tactical game. So mechanically, it sounds really interesting and fun. I'm a little hesitant about the use of Warlord in Conquest.
It's a little
that
weird.
seems like a very bold statement for Pokemon to make with one of its games, but I think that it's fair.
I would
put
say
it in that
also
spot.
like in that regard, like the art style wise, it's very like much based on like feudal Japan kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's a cool spin on that whole
Oh, spin,
Thing.
you say?
spin. Yeah.
Segue. Pokemon Pinball.
Oh,
Game Boy Color is also on
segue.
this list. That's a good segue. Fight me.
that's a
on
great.
that one.
That was a segue.
Good one. That was a good
You
one.
know,
a
it's only
segue.
good if you point it out.
Absolutely.
And you
Ty.
spend 5 minutes on
Absolutely. But yeah, Pokemon Pinball, Game Boy Color. Mike, I know you have a affinity, and
Oh, you
both
have the
own it.
box.
Ooh,
yeah.
Oh,
Hell yeah.
look at you.
Does a pinball game work in Pokemon?
Absolutely. As I mentioned earlier, like when we were talking about, what makes spin-off special, and I use Pokemon Pinball as an example. I like it's just a basic pinball table, but I love that there is like little meta missions inside each table that you have to hit. Like, let's say you have to hit like the 3 Digletts that are there, and then a random Pokemon appears, or the roulette kind of slot machine thing will happen to either put a modifier on or a random Pokemon appear. Or you could enter like a bonus stage, so you have to get in the middle and enter a really cool bonus stage to collect like Meowth coins and stuff like that. It to me is like the essential like digital pinball game. Granted, the only other pinball game I really played was the space one on Windows 98. But
Heck yeah, you
Fair.
did.
A classic.
I mean, come on.
this is very much above that.
Yes. The fact that they have like catch mode and then also like evolution modes in this game adds a very unique spin onto pinball. That's like something I loved. Like you get like a 2-minute window?
Something
to,
like that, yeah.
you
catch
get some
and to
window.
evolve.
Yeah, and you have to hit the targets and then
You
there's
collect the little lightning bolts, which are experience
Yes.
points.
Yeah. And so you can, that's like the only way you can add evolved Pokemon into the Pokedex, which is something unique and exciting for pinball.
That too,
Like,
and this game has a Pokedex, which is really cool.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong. There's only 2 pinball boards, right?
Red and
the-
blue. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then there's the
Yeah.
bonus boards, but there's mainly
Right.
just red and blue. Also, to point out, like this is the first game, possibly the only game, unless Matt corrects me, that actually like has a rumble feature
is
thanks to
not
the
the only-
battery in the cart.
It's not the
That's
only one.
exactly what my contribution to this conversation was going to be. I liked that it was different looking than all of the other cartridges. It was a thick boy.
It is a thick boy.
There's a Kirby game. I think it's Tilt and Rumble or something to that effect. That also has that rumble feature.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
So pinball, where we put on the list? The list right now is Stadium at 1, Mystery Dungeon 2, Go at 3, and then we jump down to Conquest at 8, Puzzle League 9, Trading Card Game at 10.
I think
Pinball
it's a
at
solid
7?
4 right now.
You think
I'm
below
good with
Go?
that.
For me, yes.
I
Like
don't know.
for me,
I would
like
say-
I don't want.
I mean, pinball is very niche.
yeah.
It's my favorite
Yeah,
Pokemon.
I
Niche, niche,
don't
you know.
I don't like pinball. Number one, it's a game for people who are smart and understand geometry and physics, which I do not. And I never played Pokemon Pinball, but yeah, it sounds neat like for a pinball game, but
Right.
I think Go as a concept is like neater.
Honestly, if it were me, I would put it right above Puzzle because I think that I liked that game.
damn.
But here's the
Wow.
thing, like I don't know who. Okay, well, I'm gonna say who would do this, but apparently probably a lot of people. I like get so bored of that stuff. Like that's why I can't play Tetris forever. That's why I can't play Pinball forever. Is because like at its core, it's just like a little arcade game. Like I want something with like a story and progression and like that's just how I am. Like I can't play. I think the only arcade game I can play for an extended period of time is like Galaga, and even then it's not very long.
Sorry, you don't
Right.
like the lore of Galaga?
No, I couldn't tell you a thing about the lore, but I've been on high score boards before.
That's
more
the
of
lore.
more of a writer.
Exactly.
Jessica Howard, you might know her from high score boards.
Yeah, you might know me as JSK on some scoreboards.
I
Put
think
that in your
that's
Twitter
a,
bio.
I think that's a great point, Jess. And for right now, I'm putting it at 8, above Puzzle League, below Conquest.
Wow. Okay.
Let's
Mystery Dungeon keeps winning, baby.
let's keep
Chubby boys.
Let's head to the first time this console shows up on this list, the GameCube for Pokemon Colosseum.
Oh boy.
Ty, what do you have to say about Pokemon Colosseum?
So Pokemon Colosseum is a GameCube game, as you already said.
Great start.
Thank you. I did play it because I had a GameCube. I only had like 3 games on my GameCube. It was like Smash, Pokemon Colosseum, and the Dinosaur Star Fox.
Hell yeah, you did.
Perfect.
My
and also
dude.
Turok. I also had the weird GameCube Turok game.
Oh no.
Anyway, Pokemon Colosseum slaps because like it's another one that kind of subverts the normal trainer situation, because like you go into these battles, right, and instead of catching Pokemon, you can like steal them from or quote unquote snag them from other trainers, which is like normally a big no in the RPGs. Like people yell at you if you try to do that, but in this game it's like a key part of that. The main character, the character that you play as, like used to be a bad guy and is now like not, and that's like a fun angle for a Pokemon protagonist, especially because they usually don't really get much other than like, you're a 10-year-old kid.
Your parent left you.
Yep.
You had a great upbringing. Golf to the
Do
world.
we-
Your dad is a gym leader.
Or a Pokemon.
Ty-
No,
Would
your
you
dad is
say-
a Pokemon now.
Ty, would you say that this game is better than Go in the rankings?
It's been a really long. I haven't like played Colosseum since I was a child. No, I want to say no, but I think mostly just because I think Go would be like more fun for more people, if
Sure.
that makes sense.
Sure.
So I think, but I don't think it would be super far behind Go.
Okay.
You know what I want to say though? I had more fun with Colosseum than I did with Stadium. I'm probably in the minority for that, but
I think
I
that's
didn't play
fair,
Stadium, so I don't know, but I really love
Colosseum
Colosseum.
has
I
a story.
I love Colosseum. I think just because more unique Pokemon. I mean, granted, Stadium only had Gen 1.
Sure.
And,
Yeah.
Yeah. it depends.
and of course,
Stadium was-
Colosseum's a more newer.
Yeah, and Stadium was the
Yeah.
first U.S. spinoff.
Yeah. So
Ty, once you're out here, once COVID passes, we will play some Stadium.
Okay.
I think you will enjoy it.
Also, hey you Pikachu, I want to yell at Pikachu.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, that's the big snub of this list. I don't know where Hey You Pikachu is. Everybody who voted, all of the KindaNYC fans who voted on this, you're all traitors.
So for right now, I will put Colosseum at 5. Leave a little space
That
between
seems.
Go and
I
the
think
rest.
a gentleman's 5 is respectable.
Yeah.
we all know what's going to take the number 1 spot anyways for what's left.
Yeah.
Matt, since we're running a little late, so let's kind of speed through these last two. Matt, tell us about Pokken.
Pokken is an overly complicated fighter. I don't like it. Let's move on.
No, Pokken is good.
good, man.
Pokken.
I don't want to play a tutorial for 2 hours to figure out how to play a fighting game.
You don't have to.
There's a lot in this.
Yo, Matt,
I don't
GG.
like it.
To be fair,
GG.
every freaking Pokemon main series game you have more than a 2-hour tutorial.
To be fair,
Okay,
every
here's-
fighting game you can just pick up and play. Not
Here's
Pokken.
the thing, yeah, is like, so I think, okay, like Pokken is cool because we don't have a Pokemon fighting game, but then you have to throw it in the mix with other fighting games, okay? And
Yeah.
other fighting games kick Pokken's butt.
Yeah.
Sure.
I
yeah.
disagree.
Like,
I do not agree. A lot
Soul
of
Calibur, Tekken, Mortal Kombat, all of those are
Soul
better fighting
list 'em,
games.
list 'em.
was terrible. First
Okay,
of all,
that's true.
So
That's
not
true.
all like that's the thing. A lot of like fighting games like are better maybe as a series, but like a lot of fighting games new as entries are not better than Pokken.
I agree with
Like,
that. Like the
a lot of
series.
the
Yeah.
like what is it like the Capcom versus Marvel or whatever?
Okay,
bad.
well, yeah, no, that one's terrible.
Soul Calibur 6 bad.
Whoa,
Yeah.
Like
You're
Soul
not
Calibur
wrong.
6 is bad, dude.
Yeah.
Pokken is cool. It's fun. It's really fun to play.
Hard
the
disagree.
Pokemon do cool punches.
There's only
Pokken
23
slaps.
fighters,
There wasn't a huge roster.
and 2 of them are
right?
clones?
Pokken slaps. Pokken slaps. You get to take Greninja and you get to do a punch with Greninja. He's wearing a scarf.
Sort of his tongue.
I wish Pokken had a more roster, like more Pokemon.
Yeah, I do wish there were more
Sure.
Pokemon, but
Yeah,
I think that feels like a lack of support more than like the game being bad.
Yeah, I think
That's true.
once they ported it to Switch, I think they added Blastoids and another DLC, and they're like, all right, done, bye.
Yeah,
Yeah, they
exactly.
added 4
Here's
Pokemon,
the
I think.
thing. I think Pokken is a good starting off point for Pokemon doing fighting games.
Sure.
I think it could be a lot better. I don't think it's like a great game right now. But I love Ty's enthusiasm.
The best Pokemon fighting game is
You
Smash
get to take
Brothers.
the Pokemon and you get to punch. What do you want?
Pokken as a fighting game fails.
So because of Ty's enthusiasm, and I do agree, I think it's a great starting point in Pokemon doing more fighting stuff. It obviously needs a little bit more work. I'm going to put it at 5. I'm going to move Colosseum down to 6. I'll put
gentleman's
Pokken at 5. A gentleman's
Gentleman's
5.
five.
Hard disagree with that. Hard disagree with that.
Yeah, very,
But
very
you know
hard
what? We
disagree.
can't
You're not the
disagree on?
moderator, my friends.
The way to
know,
win
so
every
that's why-
argument is
Mike,
to be
you okay
more
with Pokken
passionate
being
than
above trading
everyone
card
else.
game?
You know what Pokemon Colosseum did?
Can I tell you something that I think we can all agree on? Is how cute Pokemon Snap is.
Can we all agree that Pokemon Snap is the best spin-off of all time?
Here's the thing, though. Pokemon
No,
Snap,
Jake.
Great.
No.
Pokemon Go. You could do Pokemon Snap.
He has a point.
There is
looking
nothing
too.
more wholesome than riding around in your little zero G whatever it is car as Todd Snap. Yes, Todd Snap. That's his last name. His last name is Snap.
His name is Todd Snap.
Todd Snap. Roaming around.
And you drive a car?
Yeah.
Okay, this game wins.
Yes, exactly. Thank you. There's nothing more wholesome than roaming around Pokemon Island, going to the beach, going to the volcano, going to the river, going to the cave, going to the valley, and then going to the goddamn moon to take a photograph of Mew. Are you kidding
Wait,
me?
do you drive to the moon?
It flies, it hovers.
And dude, and it's not just taking pictures. Like, sure, like on a base level, this is such a simple game. But the fact that it adds the mechanics, and it's gonna sound real freaking stupid. The fact that it adds mechanics of apples and Buster Balls
No.
to
Those apples mechanics, man.
Love those apple physics.
to just open up new possibilities of new Pokemon poses and even like making new Pokemon appear. Like, for example, with the apple, like in the first stage, the beach stage, if you throw an apple towards the Pikachu and lead him to the surfboard, you get a picture of surfing Pikachu, and it's a special picture. If you throw an apple and you freaking knock a Charmander into a fire pit, he evolves into a freaking Charmeleon and Charizard. It's great.
The other thing too is like going off of that, Mike, like the photo mechanics in the Alola games,
Yeah.
like wouldn't be a thing without that. I don't think,
Exactly.
because those have like all the backgrounds and the poses and like they every time you get to a new town in Alola, they're like, don't forget to take pictures. Like
There's one reason Pokemon Snap is the best Pokemon spinoff, and that's the fact that you could go to a Blockbuster
Yes.
and print out stickers of your photos.
And you get that card,
Oh,
and you
that's
feel like
cute.
a boss
Yeah.
with that card. You feel like you're part of the elite goddamn 4, and you are just skyrocketing with your little stickers. And you just go to school the next day, like, look what I got, you little bastards. I got
Yeah,
from
but
me.
you know what sucks? For people that did not have a Blockbuster in their area.
You know what? It sucks for people who live in rural America and can't play goddamn Pokemon Go. Jacob,
got you on that one,
Jacob.
Play it.
yeah, Jake, where you falling on that one?
I am very fine. As much as I was like the Stadium stan who was defending it, I'm very fine with Snap being number 1. I think that Snap is like a national treasure for a lot of
Yes.
people, and it's very sweet. And I think it captures, whereas stuff like Conquest and Stadium and Pokken, it's all about like fighting and like and like that's what the games have, that fighting element, right? But I think where Pokemon shines, where it's heartfelt and genuine, is when you have like just Pokemon just living their lives, just being sweet little creatures, and that's what Snap is all about.
vibing.
Just vibing. And like Snap is about that. It's not about catching them. It's not about training them. It's not about making them fight. It's just like going and respecting their environments and just taking some photos. You know, it's like the whole like leave nothing but tracks, take nothing but photos or whatever in those little parks, right? And like
Yeah.
that's cute and sweet. I like that. I appreciate Snap.
Now, the last point I want to make really quick, and it's not really a point. I found the phone number for the Pokemon Snap stations, and I wanted to call it really quick. The world was on fire that day when the sequel came out. Like this.
Yeah.
This was originally.
Hi. Thank you for calling Nintendo. We're experiencing a high volume of calls, and there are a lot of people waiting.
It's just
to talk
customer
to a
service.
support
Look at
specialist.
that! People are still calling. People are still calling for Pokemon Snap.
I feel like this was staged. Mike had so many people calling in before the podcast.
Because the fervor is still there, not only
Yeah.
on the phone lines, but Pokemon Snap 2 is incoming. Snap is number 1. So our final rankings are number 10, Trading Card Game, number 9, Puzzle League, number 8, Pinball, number 7, Conquest, number 6, Colosseum, number 5, Pokken, number 4, Go, number 3, Mystery Dungeon Rescue Team DX, number 2, Stadium, and number 1, Pokemon Snap.
Yeah.
Yeah, chubby friends come out on top.
I think the lesson that we should take away from this is that N64 killed it, and
Hell yeah.
Japan, you're silly for thinking that N64 did not slap when Snap and Stadium are fantastic games.
Absolutely. I think it really shows with our number 1 and number 2 that us wanting to still hold the Pokemon magic in a spinoff. You have the cuteness of the Pokemon in Snap, and then you have what you're playing Pokemon for is the battling in Stadium.
My goal today was to get Snap at number 1, and I accomplished that goal. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
There you go.
I appreciate
I was
you
trying
all.
to get Puzzle League at 10.
It was number 9.
Yeah, it got close.
I'm fine.
And I want to end with our friend Alec at Arpanine, who wanted to highlight Hey You Pikachu, the biggest omission from this top 10, but he comes
No,
with
it's
some
not.
really deep lore. So I want to read the lore of how this game ends. Eventually, if the player reaches day 365, Professor Oak appears and says that Pikachu has to be released as it is a wild Pokemon. The player has to go to the woods where Pikachu was found and say goodbye several times, upon which Pikachu realizes it can't live with the player anymore and, sadly, leaves. After the credits, while the player is looking around the front yard and reminiscing about Pikachu, it returns and the game continues as if Pikachu was never released. That's how that game ends, everybody.
Why would they make you suffer that trauma?
Yeah. Hey You Pikachu is the
Hey-
poor man's Seaman. So
Hey
no.
You Pikachu is a fantastic game. I am very sad it wasn't on this list. That game meant a lot to me as a kid because like you wake up every morning and Pikachu's just like, "Hey, want to hang out?" And you wake up in your little bedroom with your TV. You can like play video games with him. You guys can go on a picnic together.
And you say the same words 10 times waiting for it to register.
No, okay. You know what? I think people just need to enunciate because I didn't have problems with him. All right.
Yes, these 5-year-old children need to enunciate.
Yeah.
Can we take a timeout, though?
They do.
Who the hell played that game for 365 days?
Yeah, nobody played this game.
I didn't get to the ending, no.
And
It's a very sweet and charming game, though. Like just like being a kid having like your own Pokemon in your room that you can just hang out with. It's so cute.
Until
And
apparently
they-
it rips your heart out.
they made a sequel for GameCube,
Good.
which is wild. Pokemon
Make
Channel.
another one
It's
for
a
make another
sequel.
one for Switch.
Crazy.
Yeah, I'll yell at Make one for mobile. I want to yell at Pikachu on my phone.
With the dust settled, those are the very best ranked like no other ever was. A huge thank you to everyone who voted for their top Pokemon spin-offs, and to all of you for watching our first panel. Did we get it right? Are you screaming in chat? Let us know on Twitter. Thank you so much to Ty and Jess for joining us. Where can everyone follow you and your work?
You can follow me at Just Jess is Fine on Twitter. I work at Uppercut Crit as the managing editor. I don't know why I said crit. I did the thing that other people do when they talk about us. I work at Uppercut, and I'm the managing editor, and I'm also an intern at Paste now. Pretty cool little development. And Ty, I'll pass it on to you. My EIC.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So you can follow me on Twitter at TY_G8Rs. I am Uppercut's EIC, so you can find us over there at Uppercut Crit. And also, I float around some other game sites sometimes, so just follow me on
Every
Twitter
game
if I
site.
see it.
Absolutely.
Literally every game site.
They are well worth the
Several.
follow, so please go check them out. And as far as KindaNYC, you can find us at KindaNYC.com, at KindaNYC on Twitter, twitch.tv/KindaNYC, and youtube.com/KindaNYC. Jake Palmer is at JakeP47, Matthew Wright at Nerdy Island, Mike Towndrow at MixTowndrow, and I am at WhoDatNinja73. Thank you all once again for tuning in, and remember, it's not about how many gym badges you've earned, it's about the friends you made along the way on your adventure. Stay safe, and we love you.
Aw.
Aww.